one of the 42 ideals of my aunt. My mother is nature. My father is time. I am a Neski queen.
All right, Baltimore, we are back. We're back, guys. This is the fourth Thursday of the month. It is me, your girl, Aneski Anna Consett. Today is June the 27th, and we are on episode 18 of the Be More Mindful podcast. I thank everyone who has showed up with us today. So we're going to have a great conversation. I already know at the room. If I stumble with my words, it's because I just can't wait to let this young man just do what he do. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the conversation. But for those of you who joined us and you already know the expectations of the show, of course, we keep them scrolling along the bottom. 4 letters, LOVE, easy to remember. And if you can handle that, then you're definitely going to have a good time with us. And I'm going to jump right into it, guys. My guest today is recently the recipient of the Honoring Fathers Best Dad 2024 award, produced by Leah Track in partnership with myself. And he's also the father of, y'all know about it. I talk about on my podcast, I talk about on live, I talk on Instagram. He right now is the hottest artist for me. You know, at my age, I'm pretty sure he'll definitely be the hottest artist for you and your family, the whole family, the father, Lord Zay, my guy, Malcolm, aka Extravagant Dad. So,
How you doing? How you doing?
Malcolm, I would like for you to definitely introduce yourself and just give your intake on the arts that you deal with as far as music or painting, for however, whatever art you deal with, and how that particular art style helps you cope with any mental or social barriers.
Cool. Thank you for the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my son, Lord Zay. Shout out to you for all that you do and this platform for giving us a voice. And even with the award that you was able to bless me with not that long ago. For those that don't know, I am extravagant dad. Um, I don't feel like I was always an extravagant dad. I earned the title, but you know, just by staying committed and investing in my children the way that I do and building a brand and a foundation for my children. Everything we do is just based around the kids because when we go, it's left to them. So we decided to just run everything around them. They have the energy, the ambition, the mission, the vision, and everything that they know what they want already. So as a parent, it's my job to nurture that seed so that it can grow and be the beautifulest, most wild flower enchanted forest it can be. You know what I'm saying? So um before children, I was a rapper myself. And I'm glad that you started it with the how did like my art help me with the mental thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um it's funny how I got started rapping. When I was 8 years old, I wrote my first rap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember writing that rap because I was watching 106 in Park after I got home from school. And I seen a Cash Money video and I was like, I want that lifestyle. Like, so I started mimicking what I was hearing. I had my own style, but it was like I was rapping about stuff I knew nothing about. And my father, being a God-fearing man, was studying to being a minister at the time, called me downstairs for dinner, and I left my rap on the bed and the TV on. And you know, if you ain't in that room back in the day, you had to turn that TV off. What you doing, bird? So I gave him a reason to come in the room. So he
Right.
turned the TV on, and then he found my piece of paper where I was rapping. And he found that rap and told me that I bet not write another rap for as long as he lived.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
3 years later, I found my father dead. Like, it was crazy. So I obeyed him. But then after like a few months of not having him, I had nothing to fill that void. I had nobody to talk to. I
Mm-hmm.
had no outlet. Nobody in my family had experienced that before. So nobody could relate. Everybody just like, nah, I know you're going through it. Yeah, but like you don't know what this feel like. It was like a piece of me really was gone. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to music. And for a long time I carried this guilt like I was doing something wrong. but it was helping me cope. You know what I'm saying? And I just always been one of them ones who, once I got back into writing at the Finding My Father, I was one of them ones who always honored authenticity. So if I wasn't living it, I wasn't rapping it.
Right.
And whatever, my raps just was basically like a personal diary, like a journal. And I was just, it was a venting session. Every song I had was just a venting session. And that's how I got into it. And before I know it, I had, when I found my father, I was in the sixth grade. So that happened in like September. I didn't go back to school till like March. I was just, I was done with everything. I'm like, I'm not going back to school. I'm not doing nothing. And then I went back to school in March. And when I got back to school, we had this thing called Emoji Friday, where like we would Emoji Friday, um, where we would perform every Friday. And
Mm-hmm.
at this time, me and my god brother would record our songs on the tapes on a karaoke machine. And we
Mm-hmm.
was remixing songs that was hot at the time. And they would
Right.
ask us to perform every Friday. So now I'm like, oh snap, I'm getting a little love from this music. So it's like, all right, cool. So we start making anthems for the school and like making like multiplication songs, and like they would come to us to find ways to like make learning fun. And the Baltimore Sun came to the school and interviewed us. Um, and I think that at the time we was getting ready to do state testing. And I still remember the article. The first sentence in there said Malcolm Lawson, 13 or 14-year-old kid for real with a head full of rats. Or 11, matter of fact, I think it was 11-year-old kid with a head full of rats.
Mm.
Prepares for the Maryland State Assessment. And music just always was that thing for me to help me cope and connect. And I just feel like even down to today, even though I don't make music no more, I love when I hear a song that expresses what I'm feeling, like
Mm-hmm.
to the T. I
Mm-hmm.
remember being in high school, and whether I was trying to break up with a girl or get with a girl, there was a song for it.
We
You
was
know
just
what I'm
talking
saying?
about that. No, not to cut you off. You know what's crazy? A true story 2 days ago. We were in a car with people and they having a conversation. I said, see, back in the day, you know what we would have did? We'd have stuck on a little bit of Joe. They see a little bit of Boys the Men with it. I was like,
Straight
R&B,
up.
was that? That's how you told how you felt.
That's how you spoke, how you felt. I might not can't put it in words, but I got this song right here. And
Yeah.
it's been a few times where you send a song and they like, what this means? Just listen to it, please. Just listen to it. And I, that look, whatever I'm asking for, it's going to sell you right then and there.
Right there. Man, man. I'm not
Yeah,
even
so
gonna lie.
music is outside of my family and God, music is definitely top three as far as like things that I love. I need
I
it in my
love
life. I don't know what I'll do without it.
I love when I have an opening like that. Like, that just I'm gonna be honest with you for a second. I could have just listened to you the whole my audience is probably like, well, is she ever about time somebody shut her down? Is she ever gonna sit? I got went for 45 minutes here. First off, I got goosebumps on so many occasions because I could feel the passion in your words and what you were saying and the realness, the genuineness of what you were saying, especially
Hmm.
just the experience. And I'm one, I have yet to experience the passing of a parent, but my daughter has, and she was a young age, and my cousin recently just lost his mother within the past 6 days. And so
Sorry to hear that.
and then I know a baby just lost his mother at a very young age. It's just the thought of having to cope with that process, period. That I'm glad that you were able to find your healing place, because some
For
people
sure.
don't come from that. Some people don't get to get back from that. Like you said, at one point in time you were full of guilt and things. When people pass, that's why it's so important for me to try my best to give people their flowers while they can smell them, because watching people go through grief of losing a loved one, and hearing so many times, you know that time I should have, that time I could have, and seeing families in distress because everyone's going through some type of shame or guilt. I just, it's something that I just feel as though it takes away, a lot when families go through that in their grieving process, and that people need to learn how to take the time and find something to pour into that will give
For
them
sure.
healing, give them hope, and to bring it to the subject at hand. You said something very pivotal. You said when you performed in front of the school, you said that you was like, oh, wait a minute, I feel love here, and so just bring it back to the subject because that's what really has been on my heart for quite some time, so far this year is that we don't really pour into the power of love no more.
Just
We don't really, go ahead, say it.
I don't want to cut your wisdom, but
No.
I want to piggyback on that, and I want to say that part of what helped me get to where I am today is the fact that not to get too deep, but from like age 3 till I found him dead, my father had full custody of me, and what I didn't know was during that time that he still was doing him, but he still prioritized being a father. So
Mm,
the foundation that he set for me is what helped me because I'm not gonna lie, he was a very strict man. And at the
mm-hmm.
time, I hate this house. I can't do nothing. Bop, 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 bop. After he passed, that was I stayed between age 11 and 18. That was my rebellious stage. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do everything I couldn't do growing up. A few years later, I had a child. And they say if you raise a child up a certain way, even though if they go astray, they'll come back to the foundation that you set for them.
That's
And that's
right.
exactly what happened with me. So I mean, I'm grateful to be one of the ones
Yes.
who, even though I lost my father, during the time that I had him, he made an impact.
Right.
So the love that he poured into me, I mean, like I can't even express it in words. Like he made every moment feel like it was a Grammy, whether I got a perfect attendance award or an honor roll award. It went on the wall and it was framed
Right.
in my living room. It looked like the Malcolm Hall of Fame when you walked in our living room when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that right there taught me, okay, when it comes to fatherhood, I know what I got to do.
Right.
The,
Right.
the downside to that is I don't know if it's a gift or a curse because I experienced that so young. I'm really open with my kids and I express
Mm-hmm.
anything that come to my mind to them because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go too soon and not
Mm-hmm.
have given them everything I got to offer. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't hold nothing back from my children
No,
because
I get it.
we don't
Mm-hmm.
know our expiration date. So I'm
Right.
just like we have open discussions all the time. I'm truly transparent. Now, granted, if the conversation isn't appropriate for their age,
Of course.
or I don't feel like they're ready for it, then we won't have it. But for the most part, I don't live a life that I have to hide from my children.
Yeah.
So being true to myself helps me be true to them. And just
Yes.
again, that like you said, that love, I'm big on love.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in a society now where we've been lied to, hurt, crossed, and done dirty so much that love is our last resort.
Right.
We choose hate first as a protection, like it's like a guard. Hate is like a
Yeah.
brick wall. I'm gonna
Yeah.
hate on you just because I don't want to love you and you not be able to reciprocate it, and I end up hurt.
Right. Right.
So I'd rather just hate you from the jump. Like
That's right.
what? And so people look at me funny because I don't have my guard up.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I give you was my choice.
Right.
However you treat me is your choice. I
Yep.
will never allow how you treat me to affect how I treat you.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, I am who I am. That's my
Mm-hmm.
character. And if I allow you to take me out of my character, now you control me.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm really big on, my wife, she gets upset when I'm too nice to certain people or I give
Mm-hmm.
people chances or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be. But I'm
Respectfully,
like, babe,
King. Respectfully. Yes.
yeah. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm like, baby, that's my heart. And if I harden my heart because other people isn't like me, at the end of the day, I gotta lead by example. If they choose not to follow the example, cool. But
Cool.
I'm never gonna compromise who I am for the sake of somebody else. I just can't see me doing that.
Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore. Oh my gosh. See, I don't even have to really say nothing because I mean he definitely just said everything. And again, one thing about this having this podcast, I go through experiences and it's weird. I don't know if the experiences tend to be what that subject that was laid on my heart, or if it's the subject was laid on my heart. So it seemed like to draw those, experiences to have these conversations. Everything that he just spoke about, I have literally said these things within probably about 48 hours the same way. I am who I am. What those you might want to list what characteristics or traits considered good, any characteristics or traits you may consider bad. I am all in one. But at the end of the day, my heart is full of love. If I have allowed myself to be taken to a lower level, that's me. I allowed that. And
Right.
respectfully, that now I know the foundation. I know not to walk that way, anymore. But you it's hard when you have a loving heart. It's hard to be so hard up and narrow minded to people that you don't allow them in. You don't allow vulnerability and transparency, because the core of love is about unity. So how can we unite if we got walls up and guards up and we both plan to hate each other
I
before
can
we.
barely see over your fence.
So that was a great intro, Baltimore. I thank everyone who stepped in or who is checked in and watching. Make sure you like, comment, share. We get ready to go to the second portion of the show, which is basically the show topic. And so y'all all know I post as best I can. I try to week before, but when life is lifing, it happens to go up when it goes up. And I hope whoever see it do take into account there's always a quote on there. And so we're just going to go and see what the quote for this week was. Of course, episode 18, The Power of Love, part 2 of our extravagant guest, extravagant dad, Malcolm here. The quote I had comes from an author who wrote a book by the name of The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, and I hope I pronounced it right. But he says, one is loved because one is loved. No reason is needed to love. Very, very short, very simple. One is love because one is love. No reason is needed to love. And so I chose that quote because last week when I had Kim on, we spoke about we kind of defined love as being certain things, and the quote I read mentioned that love was judgmental, and she begged to differ because she was saying that love is supposed to be so unconditional that judgment is not there. And so that gave me to really believe, well, who is worthy of that love? Who is worthy of that love? And I came across this quote and it made me feel like we are all worthy of love. And it doesn't have
Absolutely.
stipulations. It doesn't need a contract. It doesn't need, it really should be no type of stipulations behind why one is received to receive love, simply just because love is natural. And that's my honest belief that we are born naturally to love and be loved. I believe hatred is something that is developed throughout life because of our experiences and our interactions and our misconceptions with people who do not take into account emotional well-being. And so I said it because it's crazy how prevalent and how easy it is to push a negative narrative. But when you kind of get to talking about love and everything, people kind of like get that, like you act, you're being funny or you're not talking about something interesting. When this is very much the most important thing that we can talk about, and so there's no reason that we should not be able to show love to each other. It should not be that hard because again, there's love is just something that is freely given. There's no reason to not give it. At
So
this point, I'm listening. I'm ready for you to chime in. It's just a conversation. So the merrier.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I agree with you when you say it shouldn't be hard, but it's so funny how systematically, um, it's already by default going to be hard because it was designed that way.
Mm,
So the we can go so deep into this because we're not just battling with ourselves,
mm,
right? But it start with ourselves. So the moment we look within and heal whatever is broken and put it together, we then see other broken people through a lens of empathy and then be able to connect better, right?
right.
I always said I used to have this thing where I wanted to start a program called Stop Hating, Start Relating
Ooh.
because we all relate to something,
Right.
especially in the hood,
Right.
which is poverty, struggle, lack
Mm-hmm.
of,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is, lack of dot 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 dot, right? If
Mm-hmm.
we could find the relation in that and connect based off that instead of looking at the competition and things and saying, well, because you got bread, I'm mad. I just got jelly, but I'm gonna take yo off because he got bread instead of yo. How much bread you got? I got some jelly. Come on, let's come together and make some jelly sandwiches, and we can cut them in fours if we got to, long as everybody get a piece. How can we? You feel what I'm saying? Nobody took a loss in that,
Right.
and there's no way that you can hate when you got that mindset. But
Right.
because of years of systematic trauma,
Mhm.
um, as a baby, we come into this world as pure innocent. Now, and in some cases, I do believe that we can also attract the energy that is consumed in the womb.
Mhm.
So if a woman is going through hardship or is mentally going through things, or her pregnancy isn't the smoothest, that baby may come out carrying that energy. And you'll wonder why the baby is extra fussy all the time, or
Mhm.
why that baby is, by the time you get one or two, is just always snapping and angry and moody, and you're like, why are you like this?
Mhm.
Reality is, you got to go back. We
Mhm.
got to do our homework. See, we don't like doing homework, right? That's too much work.
Nope. Nope. No. We
We're,
like to take what somebody tell us and just carry it as
and
if
that's it, and just go
nope.
with it, right? But reality is, we have to sometimes go back and look and say, especially as parents, what was that process like during them 9 months?
That's right.
Right. Oh damn, babe, I was stressing you out, wasn't I? That explain why she keep crying. It ain't got nothing to do with her being hungry. She just ate.
Yeah.
She just slept, so she ain't tired.
Yeah.
But the energy, and then
Yeah.
so now we gotta undo that by giving love and
Yeah.
showing a different energy, being an
Yes.
example of love so they can see it and mimic it. Because one thing about love is it feels so good.
Yeah.
It feels so good when you
Yeah.
find that authentic love, whether it's platonic or a relationship with your spouse. It feels so good. I
Yeah.
mean, even for my kids, when I walk in the house and they run to the door like Santa Claus just came down the chimney and give me a hug, like I've been gone for months. I only been gone for a couple hours, but they
Right.
greet me every time like it's their first time seeing me in a long time. That feels
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? When you got that brother or that home every time, that feels good,
Yeah.
right? That's real love. And I don't understand how we can get addicted to so many things that feel good.
Right.
But for some reason, it's hard to get addicted to love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
love is literally the cure to everything.
Everything.
To everything. I seen a video on YouTube, and I actually experimented with this for a little bit. But then, I wasn't consistent, so I couldn't see it all the way through. But to the little bit of time that I did try it, I believe it to work. They say if you talk positive affirmations to a plant,
Mm-hmm.
it will help it thrive and grow beautifully.
Yeah.
But the moment you can water it, do everything you want, give it sunlight and all that. If you talk to that plant every day, talking down on that plant, that vibration and that energy that you pour into that plant will kill it. So if it
Yeah.
work on a plant, what you think it do to us?
Yeah.
Let alone not us as adults, but let alone children.
Yes.
And we got
Yes.
so many adults. I'm gonna keep speaking on children because as y'all know, I'm extravagant dad, and,
Yeah.
and and that's who I focus on. At the end of the day, when we all go, the children's left, and if we don't set our future up, it won't be no future.
That's
So
right.
I believe in pouring to the young ones and finding that cure and giving them that love that they're not receiving. Because
Right.
literally, I've
Yeah.
seen so many children hard up, attitudes all the time, and the moment you give them some love, they break down. The whole time they soft as out. They jello whole time. You just now they
Yep.
just always want to hug and always want to ask you how you doing, but they don't have that opportunity to do that on a day to day. So they got to be hard because
Yep.
if I'm not hard, then they talk about me. If I'm not hard, then I'm soft. Or it's like, bro, it takes too much energy to just put up this front.
Yeah.
I'm not. Listen, my energy, my time, and my money is valuable. I'd rather just be me. It's so easy to wake up and be me. I'm not getting paid to be an actor at this moment. I wish I was.
Yeah.
I would love to be on a set with the big cameras and all that. And they say, all right, action. And I get in my role. But when I
Right.
wake up in the morning, there's no cameras, there's no lights, there's no action, there's no director. I am my director. And
Right.
so I feel like I have to be true to myself. And I feel like other people should want to do the same because I had a time in my life where I pretend to be somebody I wasn't.
That's right.
And I had to continue to keep up that front every day. And this was for years. I didn't even realize. Matter of fact, that rebellious stage I told you about,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't really me.
Right. Right.
That wasn't me.
Right.
But when I became him,
Mm-hmm.
the people I thought that was for me loved him.
Yep.
Oh, I was the man when I was out here doing all the stuff I wasn't supposed to. Everybody wanted to be around me. And
Yep.
the moment I got true to myself and I started going back to that foundation my father set, my
Yeah.
circle got smaller.
Smaller. Yeah.
People stopped coming around less.
Yeah.
You know, people stopped wanting to. It got to the point where they don't even invite me out anymore. Bones ain't coming. He in the house. He a
Yeah.
family man now. It's like,
Yeah.
ain't that what I'm supposed to be?
And that,
You
right.
know,
Right.
it's like
No,
like
no,
let's no,
you're saying you speaking the truth.
let's normalize that, right? Because
Normalize.
it was at the time, and to be honest, I was living, I was being a hypocrite because the name of my brand at the time was Tyso, and Tyso stood for Take Your Skin Off, Trust
Mm,
Yourself Only.
mm,
And Take Your Skin Off came from when I was that person that I said I wasn't. That wasn't really me. I used to go to the club almost every day of the week, and I used to lose my clothes because I would just go in there all hot up, and I would take my shirt off and throw it and be in there sweating bullets. Right? I was just, you wouldn't even looking at me now. You just met me. You met this version of me. You probably can't even imagine that.
Look, everybody got a story, so hey.
Right? You feel what I'm saying?
Can't
I
say
was I was
nothing.
that I was that guy who, if you wanted to have fun, come with me.
Come,
Right?
yeah.
And we're gonna have a good time probably till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Everything closed, but I know some places we can go. you know. But so at that time when I was doing that, my name was Bones, and my man used to say, "Yo, that's Mr. Tyso. That's Mr. Take Your Shirt Off," because he never keep his shirt on. And then me being who I am, I'm always been a deep thinker. I was like, "No, yeah, I want that to mean something more." And so that turned into Take Your Skin Off because it had to
Mm-hmm.
correlate with my name.
Mm-hmm.
Skin off.
Mm,
Okay, be true to yourself. Stop
mm,
wearing a mask when you're around certain people, right? Be authentically you, no matter whether you just a trifling individual or you the most godly individual. If that's who you are, be that person, right?
yeah. Yeah. I believe it.
I had that brand for many years, but I continued to be Bones, and Bones wasn't me.
Mm,
But because Bones was getting the love, I didn't know how to not be him.
that part.
And then I had kids, and that love right there,
Different.
that's
Hit,
a different type of love.
it hit
You
different.
hear me?
Yeah.
I love being a father.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's the greatest gift in the world. I don't understand how
Mm,
people can neglect that responsibility
mm,
because to see, like my oldest son, when I see him, it's crazy. I see everything I aspire to be,
mm.
which is weird because he should see me and see everything he aspired to be.
Right.
But I look at him and get inspired because
Oh,
somehow, some way, he's like me 2.0.
mm,
It's like I've never got to become who he's becoming,
right.
but I look at it and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this what could have been. But
Right.
I feel like everything happened for a reason. God said, I helped you go through all that, and I had you go through all that to prepare you for. It wasn't meant for you to be in the spotlight,
Right.
but you're gonna give birth to a seed. Well, I ain't give birth. I'm sorry. You're gonna be the woman who's gonna give birth to a seed. You're
Okay.
gonna plant a seed in a woman.
Right. Yeah.
and of that will come one of the greatest things that could ever be. And
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful, and I just love lately the people that I've met along the way. It's some people that I met in the last 6 months, maybe in the last year, who've been more of like family to me than family,
Wow.
and the love has been authentic. And what got us there was the journey of my child.
Mm.
It's his journey that's helping me go down these paths and
Mm-hmm.
connect with people that I probably never would have connected with.
Right.
So that's why I say we have to learn to embrace our circumstances,
Yeah.
understand that everything happens for a reason, and if
Yeah.
we always keep a positive outlook on things,
That part.
then we'll be
Definitely.
good. My
That's
mother
most
used to say something. I'm sorry. My mother used to say something when I was younger,
that's
and
the recipe though.
I never wanted to hear it when she. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. She used to say, "Son," she said two things: be anxious for nothing, and always look at your glass half full and not half empty. And when she would say it, whatever, right? And now I'm in a state of maturity where I finally understand what she said, and I live by it every day. I can choose to look at my glass half empty, or I can choose to look at it half full. And then looking at it half full, all it do is produce more,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just love that because it's all about life is perception.
Mm-hmm.
You might see a six, I see a nine.
Right.
Which one of us is right?
Right. You're right.
It's all about how you choose to view it.
Yep.
So I don't even debate people. I can't debate with nobody no more. You're gonna see it through the lens that you see it through.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, and, like, does it take too much energy to convince people these days, right?
Yes.
So, like, even with your platform, I just hope that one day somebody just be scrolling and the algorithm just plant it right in front of the person who need it and the episode that they need, and then
Yeah.
they get to share it with somebody that they know need it, and it just turn into a ripple effect, so that these conversations that people are afraid to have with themselves and the people close to them
Yes.
can connect with them. Sometimes you just need to hear it. You need a fresh perspective. And
Yeah.
so I thank you for allowing us to be able to discuss these things to give people a fresh perspective.
Thank you. You know what's crazy, and I probably say it every show. It's true, right? This podcast is set up as a therapeutic outlet, and it is not just for the audience; it's for myself. I go back and watch these episodes time and time again, because especially when you're doing, you talk to anybody that's done any type of podcast or streaming thing. You understand? You're talking to a camera. You don't know who's on the other side listening, and you don't know what you're really saying because you're in the moment, especially if you're in the moment. I go back sometimes, I watch these things over and over, and I get goosebumps if it's my first time watching it, and I don't know, I've never met myself. I mean, I see myself posting, and I see a guest, but the conversation be so in depth and so passionate and so authentic and so genuine that I catch myself like I'm in church. Because again, I mean, for the most part, there's not much to say with you as my guest today on the power of love. If anyone has ever interacted with you and your children and your family, that's you experiencing love right there. You yourself, your wisdom, your understanding, your mission, everything. It just has love all over it. And it's funny
Thank you.
whenever I listen to you and you do say, and you do, you let your son shine. We know he is the face, but so be it. Let it be known. Your light. You have a light. You have a light, and it shines. It shines in the brightest but humblest way. And I love the fact that you once you're engaged in a conversation, your heart is on a mission of your intent is I'm going to say what I feel as though needs to be said with the hopes that it's going to be received the way it comes, and it's just so full of love, and it changed. Interacting with you changed my life. Interacting with your son, you guys changed my life. I have my family members when I get put Lil Zay on. They want to hear bow down. They want to hear they want to hear the twins. They want to hear. I mean, they know we know the album inside out. And at the end, by the time we get to Zay dreaming, we all dropping a tear because we feel the what's being said in the music, and we know, and more importantly, we're proud that it is from Baltimore. I don't know about other people and their loyalty to their mind. I'm keep 100. Anybody that know me know I booted the Ravens as being one of their fans when Stowe was Mr. Kick. I'm sorry, I ain't been back and I ain't going back. I ain't keep hurting my feelings. So I'm not the best Ravens fan, but I love
Oh
my
man.
city. Yeah, I love my city. You know what I mean? And so it's like I hope now look, don't be cutting off the screaming just because you're a Ravens fan. I love my I just not want to be crying on the porch no more. That was a very hurtful moment, and I just can't
Yeah.
keep him hurt like that. But anyway, but at the end of the day, no, all honesty, I love my city with a love that is next to my children. I love everything that my city stands for. And I mean, I say that, people start to look at me like I'm crazy because they start thinking about me, Baltimore City. murder land, a slaughter where you get robbed, shot, and people just whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of forget that that is the face of the city. When I think of the city, I think of the Lil Zay, I think of Uniques, I think of myself, the positive, the comedians, all the art, the culture, the history. Y'all know how rich this city is with history and how much we play according to this. Whether you want to look at it as a country or a corporation, we have been a very vital institution to this massive land that we are on. So it's like I love my city and I want to make sure that people have a reason to love my city like I do. And so one of the things that I know that is going to help us get there is, like you say, our mindset. We need to change the mindset of what's going on here. We thinking that we got to teach our children that growing up in Baltimore is all about poverty, drug dealing, corrupt police, politicians and police. And what I'm saying, to be honest, those things exist in every major city because, like you
everywhere.
say, it's systematic. Okay, so once we break our mindset on that and understand that, then we can go back to the root, like you said, get back to the history and the root of all things. When it came to being humanity and love is the basis, and it is the answer to so much. And it's
So much.
very powerful, very, very powerful. It is a energy that comes off of people, in a way that you can't be disgruntled or upset. I mean, I have people have to get out of my atmosphere when I'm in too much of a loving atmosphere because they just can't combat it. And it's
See,
fine with me. Like you say, you look around, your circle's a lot smaller. Well, hey, if me and my circle's on the same page, and that's fine by me because that's the energy I need. And I think we just need to make sure we start gelling and solidifying those that do recognize the power of love and have the ability to influence, others in whatever way we can. I'm big on also. It ain't all about being in the limelight. If you are an Uber driver and you pick up
you can make
someone
so much impact.
share comments. You never know where somebody is at and what they may need to hear. Be the best, happiest, most positive Uber driver you can be. Someone could be on the verge of losing their job and they stress, and they just want, and you just get in the car and they get in the car and you driving off, and you just saying, hey, how's your day? And they spill it all out. I'm running like da da da, like, and they get there, they get to work, and can have a good day just because they got that off their chest. Now they're ready to proceed. It's fine. We got to be able to have a passion for something and follow our purpose. Um, but yeah, that was a lot. I was listening and I was so engaged with your conversation with the conversation. That I forgot I got another segment.
Okay.
Another segment to go into. This next part of the show, and then right before we wrap it up, is really I like to go into this because I'm transparent. I let it be known that I have been diagnosed clinically with PTSD, anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, and ADHD. Now these letters and titles could mean something and they could not, but at the end of the day, I know that people go to school and get these degrees because they're supposed to be what people consider professionals. So every now and again, I like to see what's going on with the professionals and compare it to my life experience just to see if these people, get paid big bucks. Do they really know what they're talking about? So this part of the show I call experts versus experiences. I always let it be known I myself do not have any credentials. I do not have any degrees. So any portion of this conversation, is just for entertainment and education purposes. Please, by all means, if you feel like life is at a point where you is overwhelming or there is some type of help you need outside of what you can give yourself, I always encourage people to seek the professionals. There's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with having a person with a non-biased standpoint to your life. Just listen out and have a conversation with. It may help you. So that being said, the article at this point I chose the article from last week because this subject is just very it's interesting to me because it seems like I feel like I be saying a lot, but sometimes I feel like I don't be saying enough because I just really want to stress the power of love. We have to start loving each other. We have to be more mindful of the way we are loving each other. We can't
Be
love
more
each other
mindful.
any kind of way. Okay, there's that what Meekness say is levels to this. You know what I mean? You have to be mindful. When you call yourself loving, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong thing on the phone. Loving someone. So, there's a healthy way to love. There's a healthy, love. True genuine love creates a healthy atmosphere, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Is a very free, cleansing feeling. So, Baltimore, again, I want us to tap into the power of love. The article I'm reading is the same from the last show. The title is "The Power of Love: How a Happy Relationship Can Help Your Health." And this came from the State Journal Register. Oh, I didn't. Sorry. Oh, that's right. From the American Heart Association news article. It was published on February 13th of 2020. And the part that I want to read is that it says, one theory is that good relationships calm people down from the fight or flight response that kicks in when they're scared or angry, said Weldinger, a psychiatrist and professional at Harvard Medical School in Boston. Stress hormones released at such moments can be harmful, but, he said, if you have a really lousy day and something bad happens and you go home and there's somebody you can talk to about it, you can almost literally feel your body decompress as you talk about what was wrong, especially if you have somebody who's a good listener and maybe says a few encouraging things. And so again, like I said, the Uber driver who, you may feel as though what you're doing is not that impactful. You never know. And the reason why I wanted to bring this article back into light is because a lot of things that's going on in our city and throughout the country, period, it's based off of anger, frustration, disappointment. These are feelings that causes us to react in our fight or flight mode. These are emotions that causes fight and flight and antennas to go up. And so I want us to be very mindful. This is about, being self-aware. You understand? I'm saying self-aware. When these antennas are going up and you're in fight and flight mode, try, if you can, recognize that moment, because sometimes all you just really need is a hug, a loving word, a kind touch. That's how powerful love is. It can take all of that away. And even Malcolm, you say, when you come home from work, just the children just coming to you, bringing you love. We don't, I don't know. I think we got away. I was mentioned this last time from just showing everyday generosities that exert love. Like, good morning to everyone. Hello, how are you? I try my best to speak to everyone every day, no matter who in my passing. I get some disgruntled looks, but for the most part, the majority people receive it in the love that is given. And I believe that we need to reinstate that whole. We got to get that whole what you looking at. I be around people and it's weird because they be like, why
It's
these
very weird energy.
It's so weird. What you mean? Why they staring? I don't know. What you want to walk with their eyes closed? I don't understand. You know.
Say
Hey, look. See, I'm looking in the camera.
hey.
We got that's one guy right there. Just had a birthday just passed, right?
Yep, May 10th,
Yep. So yeah.
3 days before mine.
This is again what I'm talking about. We have to be able to teach our children how to deal with fight and flight tendencies. With the look, you gotta understand. And I'm not saying like if they're in a harmful situation. This is why I'm saying being self-aware. Because if you're able to catch yourself in a fight or flight moment, and you're able to say, "Hold on, wait a minute, am I really under attack? Am I really about to be hurt? Am I really about?" Because sometimes somebody can say something, right? And you go in a fight or flight mode and you're not really under attack, But if you're able to catch yourself and be self aware, you're able to be able to say, my guy, little Zay Zay, offended. I love this guy. But anyway, you're able to catch yourself and you might not respond in a way that can cause things to go in a more negative light. You know what I mean? So I mean, now
To
what you think
piggy,
about
to,
that? About you
yeah, I'm
know,
about to say to piggyback on that. I've been in several situations where um, our natural response usually is to uh, respond in a negative way, or we don't realize we make our situations worse,
hmm
right? I give probably one of the easiest examples. You trying to get somewhere and everybody in traffic driving slow. There's almost nothing you can do about that situation. Yet we catch an attitude, we yelling, we messing our own day up over some things that's just not in our control. Now I'm a spiritual person. I can't say I connect to a specific religion, but spiritually speaking, I feel like sometimes that's God holding you back from something that could have been harmful to you.
hmm
So I embrace those moments, and sometimes I do. I mean, I don't embrace it all the time because sometimes I really got somewhere I need to go, and
right,
when I'm late, and then when you take a deep breath though, and you really self-analyze, like you said, them deep breaths is everything. It's something about when you smell the flowers and blow out the candles.
yes,
It's something about when you do that. It's like you releasing all negative energy. It's like you start feeling lighter,
yeah,
right? But when you really self-analyze and think about it, we running late. First of all, let's be honest. 9 times out of 10, if we handled our business the way we were supposed to, we wouldn't even be in a rush.
that's right.
So then it start with accountability.
Start
Now
with
we mad at everybody else because they doing the speed limit. They just doing what they supposed to do because they not running late. But now they supposed to move out the way because we wasn't responsible enough to go to bed on time or because we overslept. You get what I'm saying? Like we
I
didn't move. We
get
didn't move accordingly. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's when I came into the idea of being self-aware and realize that most
Mm, coming back, yo. He coming back, yo. He be coming back all the time. Oh, right when it got juicy. Might be his location. He's back. Let me see. There we go.
okay, you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I was the devil. It's a lie.
All right, now I need to get to the
You
mic.
was
All right,
getting
give me one
you
second.
was
Hold
going
on.
there. I think it's a signal,
Oh
maybe.
man, allow. Okay, that's on.
We can hear you.
Okay, now I
There
can
we
hear
go.
you.
All right.
Yeah, I received a FaceTime call. I'm sorry.
No, you
What
did.
was I
Oh, okay.
saying?
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. No,
What did I
you
say?
were
I
you
lost my
just
whole
got
train of
finished
thought.
talking about how accountability is the first part because you chose to not do what you were supposed to do, and now now you pissed off
Right.
everybody
So
in
when I
traffic.
when I when I came into self-awareness, I realized that was the key to my own peace.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we reflect anger and attitudes based off something we did wrong, our own negligence.
Mm.
And then we focus on what somebody else is or is not doing instead of focusing on what we could be doing.
Right.
Right. So and I'm speaking on myself when I say that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times I would assume that someone knows what I want or what I expect of them instead of clearly communicating that and then catch an attitude when they didn't read my mind,
Right. Yeah,
which
yeah.
is weird, right?
I'm
Like
doing
I don't
that
know
too.
about you.
I'm being right with you. I've been
I,
there.
I don't know no mind readers. I don't. But we assume for people to be because we don't know how to communicate as a people, right?
Right.
And just be clear and transparent and say this is what I expect, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. I appreciate it if you would do this, and I would appreciate if you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
As easy as I just said that, that's literally how a conversation can go. But again, we've been taught that if I say this, then again, assumption, if I say this, then you're gonna say that, and then and we assume that a conflict gonna happen before it even happens.
Right.
And that's because we're so used to love not being the equation.
Yeah.
But when love is in the equation, love comes with so much. Love is an energy, okay? And love comes with understanding,
Yeah.
understanding. Love comes with compassion.
Yeah.
Love comes with compromise. Love come with it's like a full package. It's almost like getting an email from Amazon saying everything free.
Right.
Can you
Right.
imagine like going on there and everything say like 100% off and you can just order it free and be
Everything.
there in 2 days? Man,
Everything.
what? I had stuff I don't need. I just be ordering everything.
Ain't that so? Ain't it true? It's the
But but
truth.
we could do that with love, right?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we get things that we don't need just because out of love? And when I say that, I mean like compassion. We may not need it in the moment, but it just come with it.
Yeah.
Empathy, understanding, and even though it's an energy,
Yeah.
I do feel like it still has to be taught, but more so it has to be given.
That's right.
So I don't think that you necessarily got to teach how to love because people be like, well, how you supposed to teach? How I'm supposed to know how to love you and I ain't never have been loved, right?
Right.
And they not meaning that they was never taught how to love. It's
Right.
just they never possessed the energy or saw the energy close up. So I believe that if we sat here and gave each other love, somebody else would now know how to mimic that. We live in a society now where everybody copying everything.
That's right.
What is it called when you got a bunch of people on your social media? Followers.
Followers.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So why
right.
not give them something positive to follow? Let's
No.
give them love and make
Yes.
them follow that. Let's combat all the other stuff that's trending with love. And so there won't be no excuse of I ain't never had it before, I never saw it before,
Right. It's
because
all over
it's
the
right
internet.
here. It's right here.
I'm telling you that that is my view. That's how I look, and that is the honest to get the truth. We definitely we make it harder than what it really is. I
It's
actually
not
back
hard.
some years ago, and then we definitely gonna wrap up. But some years ago, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to keep this as anonymous as possible. I got into a disagreement with someone on Facebook about how we constantly, every time I turn around, they were sharing fights about us fighting each other, these fights, girls, men, everybody fighting. And I said, why we always got it? Why we make those type of things go viral before we'll make something that is, positive. Somebody's child winning a spelling bee, even it could be anything, a race or anything anything that is positive. Someone giving some anything. But why is it so important for us to share the negative and not the positive? And to the point that the person unfriended me. They just did they was like, what I was saying was just the conversation we got into it, and they was just like, what, unfriended me, blocked me, and everything. Would rather not have anything to do with me because I felt as though it was our important on our generation to use the media in the most positive light as possible. While we using it in a negative light and turn around and sit and talk about, oh, the future ain't this and that's what's wrong with kids and this, that, and the third. You're sharing it.
You're
You
part of
are
the problem.
the problem. Let me
You're
be
part
the
of the problem.
person. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you what I do have. I have family, and I say that to say this, right? When you give, like you say, when you give love and then love is received, right? The relationship between you, whether it's father, child, parent, child, sibling, just acquaintance, whatever. Love builds family. It builds family dynamics, family characteristics, family mindset. Love builds family. So I don't care about not having friends. If you
For
don't make
sure.
friends,
Friends,
if
I
you,
look at it like this. Friends is in the word. Friends come to an end, and family, fam, I love you.
that's right.
You know what I mean? It's in it.
I'm a word for it. I love that. I like
Yeah.
that. And if you
Yeah,
pay attention,
fam, I love you.
don't pay attention to how important words are, but pay attention to that. Fam, we in the day we didn't make these little antics up, the ILY and the LOL. It's
Right.
the word family. Fam, I love you. That's amazing, man. Look, we can wrap it up, and it's so again, you guys. I don't script this. I like conversations to be very authentic and very original. So it's crazy. You were just saying about love being a energy, and so I'm gonna do my two quotes for this time to go with the mindful thought of the day. Be more mindful, you guys. Be aware when you're in fight and flight mode. Are you really in danger? Are you really in harm? Because if not, You might just be having these rescue emotions coming in, anger, to fight and cuss and fuss. They might just be rescuing you from something that you may need to heal is the truth, or something that can be received in love. If you can't receive it in love, then it's there to hurt you. But if you can receive it in love, somebody is saying something or doing something to try to help you, don't take it in a manner and cause argument, fights, and all that. Let's try to learn how to love each other even through those fight or flight moments. Understand that's how powerful love is. So the first quarter is going to be a Taoist quote. For those who don't know, Tao is a religion from Asia. It falls lines up there with Confucius and such. But it says, being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. You say it again. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. And then last but not least, I'm going to come from a Bible verse. And this is why I say it's just awesome that Malcolm, you attested to love being an energy. I'm going to read from 1 Corinthians 13:4 and 8. You may have heard this many times before, but this is what it says. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Let me say that one more time. This is very important. It says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Baltimore, when you are exerting power, we need to make sure we are exerting the power of love. Okay, we all have energy and we all, can use it on a daily basis. My question to you, your energy, the power that you have in you, are you using that in a loving manner? Are you doing the things that you need to do to show what love is, not just to your family and friends, but even to yourself? Because the power of love is so strong and so impactful. It literally changes lives. So if you are experiencing things, or if you're doing things that fall in line, any of the things that was just listed in First Corinthians, if you feeling, irritable, resentful, arrogance, these things are not love. Check that energy, put it in its place, and replace it with all of the characteristics that love is, and watch how strong as a people, as a culture, and as a city we become. Now, I'm going to let our guest come on and give us his mindful thought. I want to thank him before we close out. This is indeed an awesome conversation. I can't wait to go watch this 100 times
For sure.
and
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
get fed. Baltimore, please remember this is set up for to strengthen us as a people and to encourage us to have conversations. These This is something that we're getting away from in this day and age, and it needs to come back. All right, Malcolm, give us your mindful thought today and close us out, please.
My mindful thought for the day is simply uh, I think it's important for us to not put the expectation of the love that we want to receive on others without giving it to ourselves first.
Mm,
So if we can fill that void for ourselves,
mm,
there leaves no room for disappointment from other people. And then we will be a living example of what it is to be loved and how to love.
mm,
And so I just want to close out with that. Love yourself first. And when you love yourself first, you will automatically create this uh bubble of respect, this energy that would reject anything that don't need to be around you because you just won't tolerate it because you love yourself enough not to even put yourself in a situation that could be detrimental or harmful to you or your energy. And so, yes, love yourself. Anything you need, I'm pretty sure the power to possess it is within you. God already gave it to us. So it's up for you to find it in yourself and stop looking for outside sources to give you what you can already give yourself.
Mm, that's awesome. Baltimore, you heard it here on the Be More Mindful podcast. It's me, your host, Aneski Anna Consett. Aneski literally means she belongs to me. So I thank you for having me for this hour. I thank my guests again. Make sure you guys go back and replay, share, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that. Let's put some power back in our city. And let's
For
go on and
sure.
keep going. We got to do the rise to the top. I love you all. I'll catch you next time.